I think the purpose of Cellar Roots would be to get students in the creative writing program at Eastern an easy and accessible way to get published. Yeah, I feel it's fair for students to judge other students' work just so long as it's objective and not subjective. I believe that submitting work to any publication is probably worthwhile, especially since this is ran at Eastern and students probably are intimidated to send it to other publishers. This is probably a great opportunity to just send it to someone that they're more comfortable with. I think that if you're published in Cellar Roots, it definitely just adds something to your portfolio where you can say, I have been published, and that's a big step forward that I think a lot of writers are really intimidated to take. I think it's a good thing that any student can submit the work to Cellar Roots even if they're not in the creative writing program, because you study in the creative writing program doesn't automatically make you a good writer, and just because you're not in the program doesn't make you an automatic bad writer. So anyone being able to have the opportunity to get published is probably a good thing. I can definitely see how putting all the work together in one collection is probably, just seems more beneficial to the average person trying to submit their work and get it out there. But I feel like if they advertise their website well enough, it would probably be just fine if you submitted music and film and had it published on the website. If anything, the website's probably more accessible since I imagine it's free. Is the magazine free? The book?
No, you gotta buy it on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, in that case, the website's probably just better for music and film anyway at that point.
So for our overall submissions, we received 110. I'm not sure what the past numbers have been, so I can't say if that's like higher or lower. Ones that we accepted, we only accepted 47 this year. So it is a pretty cutthroat type of deal. Like, we're not just gonna accept anything. And I think that's a good kind of standard to have, just so people aren't giving it out willy-nilly, but also just to really highlight those with the talent that kind of gets obscured sometimes, I feel. So depending on our position, it kind of depends on which topics you look at. So as the visual arts editor and me and one other person, we looked over film, visual, 2D, 3D, and then photography. So we just we have our own little paper with a number scale and the names of each project, and we give it a 1 through 5 rating. 5 being publish this now, 1 being like, nah fam, like that's not gonna happen. So that's kind of how our submission system goes, and if we're kind of on the fence about something, then it goes to like the next person who like isn't within visual arts, whoever is like the next step up, and they'll make the final decision on things that appeal to me specifically. And again, I can only speak from the visual arts aspect. Specifically in photography, I love texture. So if you got like 3 different textures in a photo, I love it. Like tree bark and then like so the roughness of that, soft petals, like maybe the center of petals with its like pollen. I know there was a photo in there that had that, and I loved it. So I'm typically looking for stuff like that. I can't speak too much on the poetry and whatnot. Yeah. Sorry, that was kind of, I cut that off.
Of all the submissions you get, would you say the majority are photography or painting or film?
I don't think we had any paintings this year that I can think of, at least. There was a lot of photography. There were a couple Photoshop things, but mostly within visual arts, most of the submissions tend to be photography.